tell you when you're in. We're going live.
Welcome back. Oh, yeah, man, how you doing? You good? I know you like that. I know you like that. How long you been back, man? And when this beat drop, I know they gon' lean. World debut, I know they gon' fiend. Everything Mississippi to the Palm Springs. Girls from brunettes down to blonde queens. You know you like that. 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 You know you like that.
Welcome to I'm joined by Mark Borg.
Hey, how you doing?
First home game for the Arizona Sidewinders, where it's Arizona Sidewinders hosting the Bay Area Falcons. Mark, this is the first game for the Bay Area Falcons this season after facing the Sidewinders now dropping their first game just last week as the two teams prepare and are going to take the field soon. In your mind, what are the Sidewinders looking to do as they line up for their second game of the WUL season?
Yeah, Michael, I think the Sidewinders are looking to just improve mechanically. Some errant throws or some miscues between a receiver and thrower. And maybe look to capitalize on some turns. They got a lot of Ds. They were higher in the league in blocks last year, but couldn't capitalize.
Yeah, Arizona with a lot of disruptive defensive play last week against the San Diego Super Bloom as they were the away team last week. Capitalizing on those blocks, though, seemed like a challenge. What else are you looking at when we're thinking through the Arizona Sidewinders, what they're trying to accomplish today?
Yeah, the Sidewinders have a couple of key pieces that they're missing. Paige Applegate is injured for the second week in a row. And Cody Lippincott, they thought they were going to have her back. And it looks like it's a last minute kind of stepping away due to some injuries.
Yeah, and with Applegate and Lippincott, in those two players, you've got a lot of backfield production and a lot of downfield production that are not available to the Sidewinders this evening.
Yeah, I think they're going to be looking for Sonny Harris, number 10, to be stepping up in the backfield. But a couple of bright spots, too, from last week. Brittany Stetmeyer and Aaron Donahue both showed that they could play without fault. Neither had turnover or drops.
Yeah,
and then Alex Goldstein was ready to hit the ground.
And now let's take a look at the Bay Area Falcons as they take the field. Mark, if you're thinking about this team, we got a chance to watch them warm up. But what do you think they're going to be looking to accomplish against the Sidewinders to show themselves as competitive this year and to make a statement for their team?
Yeah, they're in a little bit of an advantageous position. They zero film on them this year, and then Arizona's got a game worth of film for them to kind of watch. I think they're going to be playing more of their game, which is clean, mechanical, ultimate. Before the game, you alluded to it, their coach was walking them through kind of some shimmies and some shoulder fakes, but really reprioritizing that inside or skinny break flip.
Yeah, I think with Bay Area, and let's remember, they were at championship weekend last year.
Yes, sir.
And they played both matches pretty competitively. I think we've seen over the years the Bay Area Falcons as a team that's very well coached, performs very consistently in trying to open up those break spaces, especially on that inside-out angle.
Absolutely. When they get rolling, the offense looks easy. The opponent's defense just feels impossible. They are willing to throw into extremely tight spaces. So if you give them a couple more steps, if you're not right on their hip like Utah was, last season, they'll just work it down the field. Both losses last year in the playoffs came fourth quarter, and they just kind of ran out of steam. So looking for a strong start.
Yeah, and they've picked up some new players this season, but are missing some others. In your mind, I think, having players like Fennig join the team and Greenwood, who's comes from Nevada, those are two kind of essential pieces. Robin Fennig coming over from the PUL. What is in your mind? What needs to happen for the Bay Area to kind of build on those new players? But as we were talking before the game, they're missing some players from last year that were very important contributors. So some new faces, but what does it look like for them in terms of the gaps they're trying to adjust for, given some players that aren't coming back this year for them?
Yeah, well, their team is returning 90% of their receiving yards. Their current game day roster is only at about 54% of the production from last year and 50% of goals from last year. So that's a lot of space. It's a lot of goals. It's a lot of yards to pick up from some of these new players.
And the Sidewinders now taking the field. A lot of new faces on the Sidewinders this year as well, Mark.
Yeah, people looking to step up left and center. Everybody's always looking for ways to get a little bit more playing time or ways to kind of solidify their role. And this is the game to do it. It's second game in. Can you make those adjustments that the coaches were asking for? Can you kind of stay mechanically sound? You can be as athletic as you want, but if you're a turnover machine, the only thing you're going to be playing is the bench.
And when you talk about the mechanics of Ultimate, or even just talking about what we saw last week and probably what they're going to be hoping to amend this week, talk about a couple of the tendencies that viewers would look for to know for sure if the Sidewinders are going to be in some sort of offensive flow and getting what they want, or if they're continuing to work on some spacing and execution problems.
Yeah, some of the easiest ways to watch it, because sometimes the whole field's not shown, right, is if the person with the disc, if they're looking downfield, if their eyes are elevated above kind of the players and it looks like they're looking off into space, it's already too late. The offense is already out of sync. And then they turn for a reset, and now the defense tightens up. So if it's looking natural, if it's looking like they're having fun, you're going to have a good game. If they're just staring downfield, things are going to get tightened up, things are going to get tough, and either some big plays.
Incredible advantages.
Oh, yeah. Sidewinders as a team, near the top of the league for breakside throws and throw completion, but pretty low for overall receiving yards. So while they can work it side to side, it just puts that stress on the offense.
Gaba is celebrating nearly 15 years as a powerhouse drag entertainer in the Valley, an award-winning show director and fierce LGBTQIA+ advocate. Gaba WUL continues to inspire and entertain audiences with talent and flair. Catch Gaba WUL performing at Boycott Bar on the 2nd and 4th anthem.
And the first home game for the Arizona Sidewinders, we kick off.
Gabagool does it again. Doing a little bit of a acknowledgement for Native peoples.
Akomel, Bohokam, and Odantum territory who have stewarded this land throughout the generation. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connection across all barriers of heritage and difference. Please take a moment to consider the many legacies of displacement, migration, and settlement that bring us here together today. Thank you. We'd like to welcome Gabagool back to the field to help help the captains and observers complete the coin toss.
All right, we're back for the coin toss.
Yeah, earlier Gabagool was asking me, who does the coin toss, Simeone?
And he realized that it's actually him. Here we go.
A little bit of a surprise beginning there. Are you a offense first or a defense first kind of frisbee team?
I feel like the Arizona Sidewinders so far have had pretty good luck starting on defense.
Yeah.
Watching them over the years, it feels like if they are going to roll in a game, oftentimes that fast start is really fortuitous for them.
Yeah, and without Paige, right, you want to give your offense a little bit of breathing room. You want to get your defense and your energy up.
Consistent enough defensive pressure. And when I say that, I think there were plenty of blocks for the Sidewinders, but really being able to sustain that pressure that the offense had to really be concerned when they took the field that they might not score. The Super Bloom never really felt that pressure. So even though a couple blocks might have happened or there might have been some changes of possession, that never really accumulated into some consistent pressure such that the defensive line was able to score and take points away from the Super Bloom.
Absolutely. And you'll see it too, these longer points where it kind of goes back and forth. It shows that Sidewinders have the defensive...
See, for the Sidewinders last year was 57%.
Oh, that is...
lowest in the WUL last year, and it was a big pain point and kind of a big part of the postseason discussion. Now, we know the Bay Area Falcons are considerably more efficient in the red zone, and I think a lot of that has to do with some of the things we talked about at the top of the cast, which is so much good use of that inside-out space. Makes it really hard to play defense in the red zone if just about any angle is on the table.
Oh, absolutely. If you're not step for step, if you're not contesting in the air, if you're not contesting towards the disc or away from the disc, it's going to just be open season. I think last year, let me take a look here, the Bay scored the most during their first and second quarters, throwing up some pretty good score numbers there. And their defense was really good in the first and third quarters. So it speaks to, discipline, having a game plan, following through mechanically. Whereas Arizona really turns it on kind of, if it's not the first quarter, it's later in the game. They make some pretty exciting runs.
This is Bay Area to start the game on defense. This is Coach Dariani setting things up for them. I think if we were to make things too simple, we would say that there's a team that relies on explosive plays versus a team that's very technical in Arizona versus Bay Area. But look for Bay Area tonight to have some very explosive plays. Players like Han Chen and Robin Fenig, outstanding athletes, and some of the handlers that are now playing for Bay. We should look for them to find some spaces deep that are going to be very difficult to cover and that are going to be very nice for their athletes to run down.
Yeah, as you're watching, for those of you at home, there is a little bit of wind. It comes and goes, and it's from our left to our right. So the Sidewinders are going to start. So does that mean it's a first quarter and third quarter start from then?
Sidewinders on offense, Bay Area to pull, and we're off. This is Powell. That's Harris. Finding Donahue, back to Harris. Tight defense by Bay Area right now. And that's a nice shot on the wing to Stetmeyer, who's new to the roster this year. Powell, sweeping cut. Back in the field, and it's going to be a drop.
Oh, yep. Untimely one for Britt for her first turnover for the year.
Stetmeyer with the drop. Side on defense. And the Falcons now flowing downfield. High stall count situation.
Hey.
And it's going to be a stall. Elisa Chang.
And I think Mel Dunn staying tight on that up line, that inside break that you were talking about.
This is Powell operating.
It looks like even with the wind, they're kind of focusing more on these underneath looks.
That's Harris finding Pisani. Back to Harris in the middle, or back to Powell in the middle. That's Harris raking across the center of the field. Good swing shot. That's Powell. Powell to the wide side to Donahue.
There's Aaron Donahue coming up clutch. Maybe the first couple catches in a row before the first turn and ending the point with a catch there too. Hey, count it, 100% red zone efficiency so far.
One turnover, some pretty strong defense, followed by some pretty handy handler work to get in position and find Donahue on that wide side.
Yeah, and we'll see if the Falcons can adjust. If right now I think they might still be playing, because this is what San Diego did. They're playing Arizona as if they were the team last year, a team that wants to shoot, and they just proved that they're going to grind it up the field. Okay, which team is going to be able to get this upwind break? That's the scoring from the right to the left side.
This is LP Aragon, a staple of the team's offense last year on the D line now. That pole is going to land on the 30-yard line. That's Chen. Chen centering the disc. Bay Area now working it between Chen and Fenig. Chen back in the middle of the field, checked by O'Connell on the Sidewinders. Here's Fenig.
Chen already showing a little bit more restraint than last year.
Back to the middle. It's a shot right down the middle, and it's
great catch.
It was going to be a drop, but it's caught by Wynn. Fenig looking for an opportunity here. She finds some space on the inside. That's Maru. Fenig now feeding in the middle to Chen. Chen. Small outlet pass, and now rolling up line. Open side look, and it's just a little too long.
A little too long. Hanchen did lead their team in turnovers, and already an immediate impact from Fenig, like you were saying before the game. It looks like she's taking a little bit of the burden off the backfield, unable to punch it in.
Yeah, and a terrific offer from Maru. The throw was just a little too long. There's Wan, who had a number of great defensive stops last weekend, now putting in the work on the cutting. LP Aragon now to Wan again. Wan out to Jameson, who makes a diving snag. Call on the field as there's stoppage. That's Hannah Heaton.
So we just out of bounds.
Out of bounds called. This is O'Connell checking Chen. That's Fenig working on Thomas. Bay Area now looking to work it with their handlers yet again. Zalk working with Chen. Chen sending it down the middle of that inside space to Fenig, and now it's a goal for Bay.
Yes, sir. Those are the two inside throws. They were able to stop those inside looks when the Falcons' D-line was out during the break chance earlier, but unable to after that kind of second turn of that point. So already we've had 2 points, neither of them clean, and both offenses kind of weathering the storm.
That was Jacqueline Wynn with the score. Terrific use of the inside space there. And really, Mark, characteristically patient offense from Bay Area. We know that No team's going to play perfect ultimate when it's as windy as it is oftentimes when we see them host home games or even a championship weekend, but the patience there in these clear conditions, knowing what throws are easy and to just rely on them, very
Absolutely.
patient from them.
Let's see if the Sidewinders can respond.
Here's Powell working with Harris. Here's Dunn on the sideline, and it looks like just stepped out of bounds, another turnover.
It's another turn from the sideline. I think the sideline is leading in turns.
Here's McKinley McQuaid downfield trying to get something done against Dunn. And this is Way on the sideline. She's going to send it right down the middle. Bobbled and dropped.
No bobble catch this time,
by
Michael.
Wong. Here's Chip Chang. She's going to get it back from Powell. Powell up the middle now. Sidewinders looking to be the patient team. Close defensive pressure from Bay. And it looks like there's going to be a stall called.
Watch how aggressive some of these San Francisco marks or Bay marks are. Early in this game, they're looking to do the defense, and it looks like no stall.
No stall called. It's going to stay with Chang. There's Powell struggling to find a place to get open. It's going to go up to Pisani. No, forgive me. That's Brittany Stetmeyer, who's going to complete it to Powell.
Looks like a call on the field, too. If you can't see the hand signs. Oh, we're already back in.
Here's Stetmeyer now. Had a terrific week last week. This is Dunn operating on the end zone line. She's going to send it up to Powell. Powell, who's really been an anchor,
Oh, and just
holding things down here, keeping things stabilized. That's Dunn going up line, and now she's knocking on the door. It's Chang. Sidewinders score again, 2-1.
2 for 2 for red zone. I'm wondering if the stack was a little bit close, if the offensive players were a little close, creating some of those calls, or what. If you notice, though, if this is your first time tuning in, before they tap it in, the other players will be moving. The observers will count down from 4, and that's kind of a pre-stall. The players get to move after certain calls.
Kay Powell, outstanding, just cool performance back there on the back line.
Yeah, she's been coming into her own the past couple of years. Took her athleticism to the next level with a personal trainer for the past 2 club seasons. Looked pretty tough. San Francisco wants to stay aggressive, and then that will make their downfield defense easier. One of that Mel Dunn throws kind of just popped up on her, and worse wind, that gets eaten up.
Sidewinders now to pull. Trying to get an elusive stop here. Fennig up the middle. She's going to find teammates slashing across, and then more space for them to exploit. That's Schumacher. She's going to send it back to Chen and then back to Fennig. Doing a good job swinging the field and taking the yards as they come. This is Ward.
So let's see if they abuse the inside.
That's Maru. Maru back to Chen. Chen looking for that inside angle. She's going to break around. Back to Fennig. Sidewinders look off balance here. Can they make a red zone stand and a round shot, and it connects?
Ooh.
That's Schumacher. Schumacher now trying to find some space. Terrific coverage by the Sidewinders so far. That's Thomas getting tested up line. It's connected. Bay gonna zip it across to the end zone. That's Chen diving way out. Can't get a hold of it.
What a great bid. Patient all the way up until the turn.
Caroline O'Connell.
Okay, we've seen
Known
this
for-
before. Oh, sorry.
This corner, difficult to get out of here. O'Connell known for her big throws. She's going to send it down to get some field position. It's going to go right to
A
Fennig.
little bit of an arm punt.
Han Chen is going to send it to Gina Schumacher. Schumacher. Chen offers from Thomas. That's Maru. And that's going to get swung across to Fenig. She's got Chen raking across the field. But
and a huge layout.
Terrific cut by Saltzman, who just when the action looked like it was going to be shallow, Saltzman offers wide.
And it's kind of that third score in a row to that side. It seems to be where we're scoring. Neither team really ready to test themselves or each other deep.
Looking like a track meet so far, with each O-line converting each time.
Yep. We'll see if Arizona can rotate defenders out to keep that fresh pressure on, or if Falcons have the depth to keep their offense looking clean.
Yeah, Sidewinders offered quite a lot of defensive pressure there, but Bay Area just able to slip it past the defense on some high inside throws. I mean, at the end, it was all but open. But up until that point, everything felt pretty contested. These are fun defensive sequences to watch.
Oh, yeah. Both teams playing great defense so far.
Pull lands a little short. This is Powell. And that's Harris. That's Pisani, who's scanning downfield, looking for Stetmeyer. There's going to be a turn. Stephanopoulos. That's going to get sent by Davies. It's going to be tipped by Pisani. It's going to be hauled in by, is it in bounds?
Looks like it's in.
That looks like Nikki Yang, number 31. And it's just a quick shot up line, and it's a catch.
Great up line, great catch, kind of trailing behind you.
Hung in the air for a minute there. We weren't sure if it was going to be a completion. Terrific body control by Bay to make that happen.
Absolutely. Huge effort on the defensive end that turned into offense. That's one of those moments where you saw the Sidewinders with the disc kind of looking downfield a little bit too long. The defense was able to set up and then tighten up.
We have our first break of the game with Bay Area ahead now by one break. The score, we have the scoreboard showing 3-2, advantage Bay. We have 3 minutes and 21 seconds left in the first quarter.
Last week, the Sidewinders were unable to score 4 out of 4 attempts, Michael, when under a minute. They had the disc. They improved from last year. They were able to hold on to the disc until the time ran out, but just unable to capitalize.
These late game and late quarter situations, they're not going to go away. Sidewinders looking to keep it close. This is LP Aragon working down the middle of the field. She's got Stetmeyer, who already looks like she's going to be a very tough cover in the middle of the field. Quick drop is going to change possession.
Now let's see if they can recompose themselves on defense.
Here's Bay moving rapidly. Quick pitch to Cardosa, who finds Pugh, who goes back across the field. That's Wang. That's going to be a goal for Bay. She's called in. Pinwin Wong showing great control there. And then the disc just advances up. And it looked like a foregone conclusion once that break throw went off.
Oh, absolutely. And it's good that her work paid off. It's looking like she's super invested in her local ultimate, where she was teaching kids in the Bay Area through the Ultimate Discord.
That's going to be a goal for Bay. She's called in
for a couple years ago. So
Pinwin Wong
she
showing
knows mechanically the game, or understands maybe a high frisbee IQ, if you will, and just putting it into practice. If you're going to get ahead on a step, you're going to stay ahead. And it looks like the Sidewinders on those turns, 2 points in a row, kind of couldn't make up that ground in transition.
Yeah, good give and go by Wong and Cardoza there. Long point, able to pull off that give and go. Made it look easy. Here's Bay trying to keep that defensive pressure on as Harris comes down with it for the Sidewinders. This is Aragon. Aragon going to send it right away to Thomas. It's high. It's going to be contested. Can she get it?
Oh, just in and out of the hands.
Thomas is down on the turf. Play will stop.
Looks like she did come down kind of hard.
Thomas really trying to stretch things. Looks like she's going to be all right. Helped up by teammate Hannah Erickson.
Yeah, Cynthia Thomas is one of the
Emma Erickson.
better Sidewinders in the air, so big loss on D if she stays on the sideline for more than a couple points.
We'll have Madison Spiegel come in for Thomas.
A rising star on defense in her own right. Should you do just fine as we approach the 2-minute mark.
This is Doyle on defense on Fenig. Bay is going to swing it and then bring it right back to the middle of the field. Can't quite make it happen there.
All right, Sidewinders working with a short field.
That's O'Connell. She's going to send it to Harris. It's going to be a diving grab. Keeps it in bounds. That mark is so active. Pressure very intense. Here's Eric. You could feel it for a minute that the momentum of the field swung. There could have been a cut there. But smart to holster there as the mark got back on. And the coaches didn't like the look of the field and want to capitalize on this opportunity. They're going to take a timeout.
I mean, 3-4 looks a lot better than 2-5 here with a minute left or a minute and a half. Sidewinders looking to punch it in and then maybe get a quick D. Go ahead.
Well, we're looking at two scenarios here that we talked about before the game, which was a late quarter situation.
Yes, sir.
Followed up by a potential last possession or red zone situation.
Now that the league has been in existence for a couple of years now, teams they're practiced. They're ready to bleed that clock and be the last possession. It's just whether or not they end that possession with a score. So both teams are looking to get this last possession. Do you think Sidewinders put their full O-line back in right here, even though they've been broken a couple times?
I think you have to get some of your control players back on the field. In terms of specific personnel, I'm not one to comment. I do think, though, that there have been some players that have done a really nice job of controlling and maintaining possession. And the Sidewinders are running hard enough where those gaps are opening up in the defense eventually. But the Bay Area is playing such good defense in terms of their marks and some of their positioning that it's going to be your third or fourth throw.
Yeah, Sidewinders are going to score on this kind of around, so multiple horizontal throws from side to side. Oh, the timeout was way before that huge throw to this near side.
Oh, very interesting. Well, they've got Aragon now with Powell. Those are two control players. And this is Chang. Chang sees something on the side.
And what an
and
awesome
it came
catch.
up big for Brittany Stetmeyer.
Huge bid.
Chang saw just a window of daylight there, Mark.
Just you have to attack the disc against the Falcons. Utah, only team last season that could kind of go step for step. Could attack
That's going to
that
be a
disc,
goal for
could get
Bay.
there
She's
first.
called in.
Sidewinders,
Pinwin Wong showing
without the missteps, they're right there. Physically and mentally, it's just a couple of miscues.
Great grab by Stetmeyer there. It looked like the Bay Area defender had a really nice line to get a stop there, but Stetmeyer with that last-minute adjustment.
Oh, both teams playing
That's gonna be a
fundamental
goal for
frisbee in the
Bay.
red zone so far.
Interesting.
We're hitting
Well, they've
those
got
open
Aragon
throws. You don't see these
now
big
with Powell,
kind
those are
of
two
over
control
the
players.
stack over your players' throws that we saw last week.
And this is
or
Chang.
kind of from some other teams. And
Chang sees something on the side. Assume that if there's not very much wind, that would lead to better quality ultimate. But sometimes that does tempt you into making some throws. Perhaps you ought not. So both teams, playing very clean right now. Let's see if the Sidewinders are able to generate any pressure right now in the final. We're under 2 minutes now in this first quarter. Here's Dunn offering the pull. Sidewinders running down as Han Chen will get things started for the Bay Area Falcons. This is Fennick.
this might be Finnick's second or third point in a row, or definitely second.
Chen's going to send it right to Spiegel.
Let's see if they
Sorry,
ride.
that's Hannah Heaton with the stop. Great read. Back to Wen. Heaton putting in the work on offense and defense on this point, and that's Pisani who's able to still get a hold of it. Dunn's just going to zip it back across the field. Open Sidewinders cutting in the end zone. They've got to get things collected.
not looking like much wind towards the direction, so now's the time to get this break.
Dunn's going to test this mark, try to see if she can get to this. And a great completion
Ooh, call
to
on the field.
Chambliss.
That stack is a little bit too close. If you see how much space is in the end zone and everybody bunched up towards the disc, they're just asking for those pick calls.
Chambliss, new to the Sidewinders this year. She's able to find Dunn, who's going to continue to probe on this mark. Try to see what she can find. Chambliss stuffed, looks like a whistle. And that's going to be a stall call.
See if he got off before. Sometimes that, and this happened last year a few times, not very often, but the observers recognize the stall first, or the observers recognize the timeout first. So we'll see what happens. And it looks like they recognize the stall before the timeout.
This will be a change of possession. Done with a terrific find on that inside angle, but it's going to get reversed. Bay Area now working hard. That's Heaton with the defensive pressure. Bay now trying to advance it downfield, but good pressure from the Sidewinders. This is Ward who found some good space. Now a launch downfield for Bay Area. Thomas trying to grab it, can't quite get it. What a grab by Bay as time expires.
It'll be interesting to see if time is fully done or if they put anything back on the clock.
Maru with an amazing catch there with Thomas breathing right down her neck. This is Ward
two
who
kinda
found some
decent
good
skills
space.
for
Now
Cynthia
launch
Thomas,
downfield
too.
for
We'll
Bay
see if that affects
Area.
her
Thomas
play
trying
or
to grab it,
positioning
can't
kind
quite
of
get
throughout the
it.
game.
What a grab by Bay. We're 3-5 advantage Bay Area after 1 quarter of play. We're seeing some consistent defensive pressure by both teams, Mark.
Yeah, it looks like they did in the quarter on that play.
Sidewinders going back to their huddle, trying to take a fresh approach as they're going to start on defense, and the onus will be on them to generate a spark to start eating into this now emerging Bay Area lead. We'll take a break and come back to you after an ad.
See you then. Sorry for talking over you.
We join you again in the break between the first and the second quarter here at Jesse Parker Field in Mesa, Arizona. Temperatures in the low 70s, clear conditions, very little wind.
Yeah, the wind might be dying down, but the intensity is picking up. Both teams started the game excellent on defense, and Bay just proved that they can punch it in once they get a turn. If you'll notice, they're willing to kind of throw some of those just to open players or even closely covered players with somebody step for step, where Arizona got caught looking a couple times to disastrous results.
We're going to be talking about this probably for the rest of the night. But the Bay Area Falcons seem to be bringing the heat on their marks. The active feet being able to cover both the shown throw and the around, that's hard to deal with just a 7-second stall.
And I know there's so much media and content out there, but you got to kind of watch two things at once. Take a peek at the mark right when somebody catches it, but then look to see if the person who's cutting, if they're trying as hard as they can, if they're going 100%. And if they're not anymore or later in the game, it's because Falcons marks kind of stop that. They stop the throw, and so the cutter's not going 100% anymore. So the thrower's not trying 100% anymore, and it all just cascades from there.
Yeah, will the Sidewinders continue to play with pace and continue to test the marks? Or will the marks have a chilling effect on the rest of the game? We'll find out. Sidewinders now on defense.
Looks like the wind is picking up just a little bit, and there might be a high side towards where the player's sideline is.
And it's always news in Arizona when there's a little bit of wind. And we will cover it for you.
Yep.
This is Aragon with the pull. Fenig to Chen. Goes to far side. It's going to be a shot downfield. Sidewinders trying to track it down. Going to be a great grab by Spiegel, but it's going to come back. Spiegel with the block.
Well, just another chance to prove it again, huh?
Indeed, but we see a block, but no consistent pressure in terms of being able to score on those opportunities. It's going to be an inside shot back to the middle of the field. O'Connell trying to recover. That's Wynn. Looking to get it to Fenig. Fenig on Wen. Wen able to break it up.
Let's see if they can capitalize on this turn.
This is Jameson. Sending it to O'Connell. O'Connell wants a better look downfield. She's going to send it to Aragon. Aragon with a knifing throw to Wen. Wen looking dump right away. She wants it back in the hands of Aragon.
Cutters are looking dumb pretty quick.
Oh, what a
huge
grab! Terrific work by Chambliss. And that's going to get sent back to the middle of the field after an explosive play that saved the possession. More pressure by Bay. Sidewinders hold on to it. This is O'Connell looking for any opportunity. She'll holster and take the undershot.
And Sidewinders do still have their timeout from earlier.
Heaton trying to stretch things into the end zone. Sidewinders looking like they're trying to fall into end zone, but things look still a little chaotic. That's Spiegel holding on to it to Aragon. Aragon threatening hammer. Crowd wants a hammer.
Looking.
Crowd gets the hammer, but not the result that they were looking for.
Hey, the people got what they want. San Francisco got what they want. Maybe Sidewinders did not get what they wanted there. That's 2 turns, though. 2 Ds forced by good defensive pressure. So let's see if the Sidewinders have a third one in them.
This is Jameson checking Chen. Clock getting high already. Nice swing pass to maintain possession.
So it looks
Looks
like
like
we're calling back, but
There is a call.
players have forgot how to echo the call, I guess. Oh.
Looks like possession is going to remain with Bay Area. That's Ward who's going to send it to Chen. Nice throw. Chen in a great spot. Uses that position.
Matt can come up with another one.
Schumacher looking to get it on O'Connell.
Oh,
Schumacher
great
makes the
box
grab. Bay Area now in the red zone. Pressure on the dump. Chen very quick. Able to maintain possession. That's a IO shot. And it's going to set up a backhand around, and Bay Area's got a score.
Excellent catch. That's one of those long points that I was talking about before the game. A little demoralizing if it happens more than a couple times. And that's Carnahan's kind of first big play. She has one of those, or 1 or 2 each game. I'm impressed by Finnick's play so far since joining. And it's taking...
Quick. Able to
Let's see
maintain
what we got on
possession. That's
replay.
a IO shot. And it's going to set up a backhand around, and
Some
Bay
of these
Area's got a
catches A
score.
little bit behind or a little bit ahead. Excellent catch. That's one of those
Their
long
catches in the
points
end zone
that have been good so far. After that kind of first overthrow.
Yeah, and this is pretty. Carnahan was way open,
Oh, yeah.
and that was a nice grab on something with a lot of pace. That pace is just to make sure she stays open.
Falcons like to throw fast. They like to throw at you. 25, Chen is kind of the only one that throws big outside-in throws consistently. So if they've got some steps, they're hitting those throws.
Sidewinders looking to collect themselves and respond. It is 6-3 advantage Bay Area. We have just over 9 minutes left in the half.
So it looks like 17 is coming over and playing a little bit more defense now that Finnick is taking a backfield role. So we'll see if she kind of takes over on a turn or if Arizona can stop the bleeding.
Yeah, that's Pugh on Harris. That's going to be a shot to the sideline by Stetmeyer. Stetmeyer now Looking for Donahue in the middle, setting up Chang. Chang looking downfield. There's no one stretching.
Oh, we're pointing.
We've got a collision downfield. That's going to stop things.
A little bit of unfortunate contact. Can you see who is that? Melissa Dunn?
We'll sit tight while we identify the players.
Yeah.
That's McKinley McQuaid trying to help up what looks like Arizona Sidewinder after a collision. Yeah, that is number 11, Mel Dunn, who is able to make it back to the sideline on her own power. And she will be spelled by number 26 for the Sidewinders, Lauren Pisani.
Just before that collision, you saw Chip Chang kind of pointing downfield. That counts as what I was talking about earlier with us looking downfield for a little bit too long, letting defenses set up.
Chang is lets it rip. Donahue almost able to save that last-minute punt. Now Bay, content to be patient and send it back to the middle. They've got a nice opportunity here. Chang trying to snatch it away. Outstanding work so far. That's Greenwood. She's going to advance it upfield. Chang trying to get a stop here.
Oh, that's too
Chang doing outstanding work.
Looks like
and
a
now
timeout.
it looks like there's a timeout.
Two successful upline defenses. Couldn't stop the third. I mean, both teams absolutely trying as hard as they can. But that was just an example of you start looking downfield. By the time you look backfield, the defense is already tightened up. The sideline is talking to you. Everybody's getting louder. You're feeling rushed. It's only 7 seconds. And then you put it up and hope.
Yeah, and that was a great handler combination by Bay to evade Chip Chang on the Arizona Sidewinders, who went for a diving bid earlier and then really played very close defense on that sequence, but Bay Area just too good with some of those touch throws out to space. Very hard to guard.
Absolutely. And then they just get moving downhill. We'll see what they come out with. You know, one thing I tell people who are looking to improve, maybe it's their second year of playing frisbee, they've played some local rec league or some college, or maybe it's their first year playing club. One of the best ways to improve, other than always being in the best shape of your life, is trying to predict what's going to happen.
Right.
So if I'm on the sideline and I'm a young player, I'm thinking in my head, are the Falcons going to push this inside? Are they going to go around? What half of the field are they going to score? Let's find out.
Big sequence coming up here. Fennig back to the middle of the field for Bay. It's going to be an inside-out shot. Fennig's able to get it. It's going to be a quick flip to the end zone. Bay Area's got to score.
And they just kept it on that side.
Jacqueline Nguyen. Those inside-out throws again, releasing players downfield. Very difficult to cover, Mark.
Oh, absolutely. And let's see that replay. Let's find out.
Big sequence coming up here.
49 is going to start with it.
Back to the middle of the field.
The Sidewinders do a good job sealing.
It's going to be an inside-out shot. Fennig's able to get it. It's going to be a quick flip to the end zone. Bay Area's got to score.
She's too professional. If she's going to get the disc in motion, there's no slowdown. She's throwing that. It's hard to guard.
Plenty of stack discipline there to make sure there was plenty of room to run that down to. In another scenario, it would have been easy for a help defender to come in and take that away or make that play pretty dangerous. But Bay Area looking disciplined and sharp so far. We've got a count of 7-3 with 7:45 to go in the first half.
Let's see if the Sidewinders can answer. It looks like the Falcons tried to poach that kind of first look, but are falling back into matchup.
Stetmeyer. Working downfield. It's on the sideline. Sidewinders looking to keep it on that side of the field. Upline cut offered by Harris.
I think it'll stay there. I don't see... Yep, and we're going to keep moving.
That's going to get swung. That's Chang to Powell. Looking at options here. We're going to go back to the middle. Handlers working hard in this half for the Arizona Sidewinders. Powell looking for options downfield. And she's got Harris once again. Harris flipping it up in the air to Donahue. Donahue's going to try to find. What a grab by Erickson.
Wow. Just lots of dinks and dunks, lots of gives and goes. Finally, some comfort, too. Even if players might be a little bit closer, we're willing to throw those stall 0, stall 1 throws.
We'll take a look at that one as it unfolded. Go back to the middle.
In practice, they were willing to just kind of throw and go. Now let's see if Carolina O'Connell can put him in a good spot.
Sidewinders on defense. A 3-point margin advantage for Bay Area. Here's Fenig. Fenig and Chen. Really the pillars of this backfield.
Oh, good move by Volk.
Maru, who seems always open.
Or Maru, excuse me.
Maru's going to send it back to Fenig. Fenig back to Chen. It's going to hit the deck. Chen can't pick it up.
Another good bid by her. She's putting it all out there. She's going to come up with the next bid.
A big opportunity for the Sidewinders to get their first break of the game. Carolyn O'Connell.
And we still have that timeout from earlier in the game. Let's see if they use it. And there it is.
Sidewinders want another look at this opportunity.
All right, both teams have proven that they can score in the red zone, but if you'll notice, we're past half field, but we're not quite past the brick mark. So we'll see if the Sidewinders come out and just play regular offense and then they transition, or if they start their end zone a little bit further out.
Right now, Bay Area has been so good about forcing Arizona to play catch and have been shutting down those downfield options.
For those of you just coming, maybe you got off work a little late on a Saturday, you're coming into the stadium, leave your windbreakers at home. There is 0 wind right now. So look to the marks to stop that, or at least discourage those around throws. And if Arizona's not hitting those arounds, their insides or open side throws are going to be a little tougher.
Arizona now spreading the field.
One thing I'd like to see is if it's an aggressive mark and that defender really sells out to stop that kind of backhand around throw, Arizona's handler, push up a little bit more. Give that inside look. Sometimes we go up line a little bit too soon.
Looking like a set play here as the Sidewinders line up dead across in a horizontal set piece. First dump shut down. O'Connell looking for options. Great mark by Bay. It's going to be a big swing completed. O'Connell back with the disc. Trying to make her way around the mark. Back to Powell.
Push back behind half
That's
field.
Thomas. Terrific grab. She's going to launch it downfield.
Helen will throw this.
That's Eifert coming up with the grab. And she's going to feed Chang to O'Connell. Back to Petty. And a miscue means the Sidewinders are back on defense.
Yeah, let's see if they can get the stop. Valiant effort there. Just a little bit of mechanical mistake.
Bay now advancing. Great yardage pickups here. McQuaid now sending downfield. Great gainers here. That's Chen. She's going to send it in the middle.
Oh, not in.
Spinning catch. And a turnover.
Little miscues on both sides. I wonder if both teams are ready for half times. Maybe some Uncrustables on the way.
It was a great spinning catch by Way, but trying to stay ahead of the defense meant a turnover. Speaking of turnover, Bay Area back in control here. This is Chen. Bay exploring the sideline. Gonna be sending it back to the middle.
Ooh.
Close
Good catch
call.
there.
That's Pugh. Pugh sending the disc downfield to Cardosa. Turnover. This is O'Connell. She's going to send it. Looked like a kick block.
Yeah, clean block there by Georgia Cardosa.
O'Connell really looking to spread things out. And better field position than a backfield turnover. But the Sidewinders are back on defense. We've got 4:17 to play. Sidewinders 4, Bay Area 7. Swinging the disc now. That's Davies. Davies looking to keep it moving. Pugh now going to send it back upfield. Sidewinders desperate to get a stop right now. Diving catch.
Oh, great catch.
Bay Area able to maintain possession.
Looks like their second timeout.
And their second timeout as Davies is able to corral that dump pass.
Oh, looks like they're trying to figure out exactly where. Oh, and consummate professional. The observers know exactly where the disc is.
Yeah, Cardoza working really well back there.
It's almost what you alluded to earlier. The lack of wind now, because it's been coming and going. No wind on this point, and it's one of the sloppier ones we've seen.
Yeah, kind of uncharacteristic. I feel like we can say it's uncharacteristic at this point. Bay showing so much control for the first, really, 20 minutes of the half. And just in these final minutes, as both teams are fatiguing, both teams want this point to be over. Starting to see some pressing, and then the turnovers are starting to mount.
Oh, yeah, they're adding up. And, you know, if everybody slows down, that disc is going to keep going the same speed. The team that can adjust and kind of still hit their players, even though they're a step behind, that's the team that's going to be successful. I'm wondering if we're going to see the same kind of give and go, the same kind of importance placed on the upline right here. San Francisco, or the Bay, rather, when they're in the red zone, they're keeping the disc close to themselves, and they're working in front of that stack for the most part.
Let's take a look at this T-stack that Bay has set up. Gobs of space in front of it. Two handlers back.
I wonder if the Sidewinders defenders are going to be able to play off.
That's terrific cut by Maru. Back to Fennig. Fennig's going to try to stretch it around. Carnahan now in control. She finds Chen. Bay Area scores. That's going to be 8-4 advantage Bay Area.
That was that exact thing that their coach was working on pregame. Little shoulder fake, set your feet, stay up, ready to throw that inside. As soon as she caught it, the smallest fake to get her defender moving, and just a wide open lane to throw that throw.
How about that nice cut and wide open space by Maru? That kind of sets that action up. And, you know, Bay, you know, they're playing so smart in the sense that they're able to break open some space on one side, but then are content to swing it the other direction and then score on the opposite side. Just because somebody made a good cut doesn't mean they got to score on that side of the field. Just a really interesting sequence and a really interesting setup.
Absolutely. This is why they were tough to beat last year. They're going to be tough to beat this year. An excellent start to the season so far for them. Let's see if Sidewinders can score a couple points before the end of the half.
3 minutes and 35 seconds left for the Sidewinders, who are looking for a little bit of consistency, a little bit of evenness. Donahue delivers here with a great catch in traffic. That's Stetmeyer.
We are playing close together.
Goldstein. She's going to send it to Harris. Harris is going to go up and over. She finds Donahue again. Donahue in control back to Powell. Tight defense downfield, but this is Harris once again doing the work downfield, and it's going to be grabbed by.
Great defense there, Stephanopoulos.
Stetmeyer almost able to make magic happen another time. Couldn't grab that one. Great cover by Bay.
Yeah, we'll see if they kind of work it up the field, or the past couple times
the
they've
catch
gone
was
in this
called
direction.
out of bounds. That's what it was.
Out of bounds. Okay.
So she did make the grab. It was just out of bounds.
The sideline got him again.
Testing deep. This is Harris trying to make a play. Reeled in by Bay Area. Now it's just give and go. That's McQuaid looking for her dump option. Stall count comes up fast. Stephanopoulos back to the middle. Bay looking to try to send it back across the field, but it's long. Caught. McQuaid. McQuaid back into the end zone. Overthrown.
Ooh,
Turnover.
Just a little bit.
Sidewinders, 2 minutes, 16 seconds to go. They've got a chance to put one in.
They're getting close to the half. That disc you've got to adjust your throws to kind of some slower legs.
That's going to be a long throw for the Sidewinders. High count. Sidewinders going to have to be content with better field positioning right now.
Yeah, no win, so not much to capitalize on the field position, but another chance at defense here.
Sidewinders trying to cover Bay. Just 2 wide open underthrows in a row. Third open throw down under. Greenwood. Inside angle. Working inside outside the Bay Area. And now it's just a quick flip and what looks like an effortless score to Stephanopoulos.
And you see it once they get into a flow, once they get into motion and they start moving towards their end zone, everybody's on the same page. They're ready to receive the disc, and they're just as ready to throw it.
Yeah, great offer by Stephanopoulos there.
So for those of us keeping track at home, because I'm going to be honest, I'm not keeping live stats, I think sideline with 4 turns, and then throwaways with a couple more, but some excellent defense to kind of go with it. So definitely room for improvement. What do you want to see in the last minute and 30 seconds? Is there enough time for 1, 2 scores? If you can get a quick turn, or San Francisco looking to kind of pour on the points here before the end of the half?
Bay Area, I don't think we're going to see anything different from their defense on this point. I think in terms of what the Sidewinders are going to need to do, I don't think trying for a quick score is what they're going to try for right now. I think they're just going to try to get a score. With just 4 points in the first half, any score is going to be better than a possible turnover and then adding to that deficit by another point.
Absolutely.
That's Doyle. He's going to send it back to the middle for O'Connell. O'Connell sending it to the turf. What we thought was a low release that might have been completed is going to skip the turf before Erickson is able to even make a good play on it.
Didn't touch any grass because there's not any grass.
There is no grass. Bay with another opportunity. Fenig. Pugh.
Just
That's
quick
Yang.
throws.
And that looks like Maru. Bay Area just in such good control right now. Bay back across the field with that inside shot. Now working a combination. That's Cardosa, not Maru. I'm sorry, working downfield. Here's Fenig. Great marks by Sidewinders.
Oh.
They're going to have to chop it across the field, but it worked just
Wow.
fine. And then Pugh sending it into the end zone, giving the Bay Area double digits for the half.
That is a thrower's throw. So, Robin Finnig, even before the end of the half, we could probably get started on that as advertised.
Yeah, really great control by Bay Area. Finnig, a big part of that, no doubt about it.
She's anchoring the offensive and now defensive side of the backfield, and it looks like with that addition, they're able to kind of bring 17 Eliza Pugh over to the D-line and kind of anchor that once they do get the turn. That's probably why it feels just so successful when they get the turn.
16 seconds, Sidewinders receiving. We've got our score corrected now. What you see is the score.
Here we go. As a coach, you would love to see a score here. You want incremental improvement. It's a long season. You can get to the finals of the postseason at 3-3.
Sidewinders on offense. facing what is now a familiar pressure from the Bay Area Falcons, who have been relentless. This is Harris. Back to Powell.
No rush here in the WUL. If the time is out, they get the possession until a score or a turnover.
That's done. Working with Powell. Time has expired in the half. This is the last possession. Goldstein zipping downfield to Donahue. Donahue able to volley it up for Chang. Chang on the move. Sidewinders flooding into the end zone, trying to find some open space. That's Harris clearing up field. Just off the hands of, but not just off the hands of Donahue. Powell not able to make that diving save.
Oh, not quite. They are putting it all out there. It's just not quite enough.
That's the end of our first half for the Arizona Sidewinders match against the Bay Area Falcons. It is 10-4. Bay Area leads by 6. We'll look to have Arizona begin the next half on defense. Mark, it looks like this has been pretty intense in terms of defensive pressure for both sides, but only one has been able to score consistently. We'll see if we see anything different, and we'll catch you on the other side of the half for the second part of this game.
Absolutely. See you then.
And a Callahan.
Ooh.
The Arizona Sidewinders and Falcons. Bay Area now 10.
Oh, sorry to cut you off, Simeone, but there's a dog team pick happening. Fans, hopefully you stayed around for halftime. They still have all the stuff on the field. I don't know if we're going to get this game back restarted.
It's got to be surreal to hear ultimate commentary over all of these dogs.
Hey, we asked for some catching and throwing, and we got catching and throwing.
You know, I feel like I had just gotten the song "Who Let the Dogs Out" of my head from 25 years ago, but now, after playing over and over again, I think it's going to be stuck in my head for another 25 years.
Yeah, it looks like it was the Sidewinders on March 29th. But great segue into kind of what we need to see from the second half. First half and halftime a little bit. Sorry, pups. We saw some turns, some unforced errors. I'm going to try to be better about that. Bay was more consistent and better about cleaning up those sloppy plays. It seemed like Arizona, mechanically, they're there. It's just about consistency.
Yeah, it feels like both teams started very strong, and Arizona tended to fray at the edges a little bit, and Bay Area kept it pretty focused but for a few sequences towards the end of that half.
Absolutely. Good coaching on both sides, good game plans coming in with both sides, but unfortunately it's execution. I'm not going to spoil Severance. I'm not going to spoil March Madness, but we'll see if Sidewinders can spoil the rest of this game for Bay.
Yeah, and I think a hallmark of the Sidewinders in previous years has been those explosive plays downfield.
We haven't really seen it first half, did we?
We saw one attempt from Aragon to Thomas, and that one didn't quite work out. But for my money, I look to see the Sidewinders try to stretch the field more than they are right now, try to give themselves some more options. And they're receiving now. Sidewinders on offense. Back to Harris, center of the field. Harris up the middle to Stetmeyer. It's a miss.
Well, it's not a first throw turn, but it's close.
Bay Area now working through Cardosa. Sending it down the sideline. And it's going to be defended
good help D
by
there.
Stetmeyer.
Sidewinders are not giving up on turns.
Greenwood working nicely on that near sideline. But Stetmeyer breaking up the whole play in the end zone. Harris, not a lot of options except for a wide open Aaron Donahue.
With no mark again. That's the second Sidewinder without a mark.
That's Powell. Donahue back in the underneath space. And it looks like finally the Falcons are matched up on this play.
No,
this
not
is done.
Not
Looks
quite.
actually kind of like a junk look more than just a person. Sidewinders doing nicely with this opportunity, though. It's opening up a little bit of space.
Still completely open.
It does look like a junk look rather than just a straight person matchup. Maybe not a full zone, or maybe there's just not the proper assignments. Either way, Sidewinders taking advantage of the underneath space that's been opened up as a result. That's Powell.
Ooh.
It's going to skip off the turf looking for Donahue.
Just a little low. All right, let's
Big swing, switching fields for Bay. Looking
She will
downfield,
throw
wide
this.
open. That's Stepanitis. Now we're going to send it back upfield to McQuaid. Scanning for an opportunity. Bay Area very patient now. Going to swing it. That's Stepanitis. To Chang. Bay very patient once again. Methodically working their way towards a weak side.
A little early switch.
Good collect there. Looks like McQuaid, but a block!
Said no thank you, little gentle parenting right there.
Lauren Pisani cut all the momentum out of that work. That's Chang. And Pisani now looking to operate. She's going to flip it to Dunn. And it's going to be Skating across the turf, we'll see if there's a call.
We can see it from a mile away. Melissa Dunn's thought process. Am I calling a call right here? I am. These two are no strangers to each other. They play against each other in the club division most seasons, so we'll see how they hash it out.
Trying to figure out if there's contact on that throw.
Oh.
Both players actually doing terrific for their respective teams in this game. Looks like Dunn's going to hang on to it.
Here's that pre-stall.
Quick flip to Chang. Back to Dunn. Dunn is going to try to switch fields. She's got Powell. Powell's going to send it back across to Harris. Harris is going to go downfield to Stetmeyer. Sidewinder stretching the field. Donahue's going to rake towards the sideline. Sidewinder's approaching the end zone. It's going to be a big lollipop throw.
Oh, a little bit of contact.
Defended successfully by Bay Area.
You know, maybe not the matchup we want downfield, but they were taking that shot that you alluded to earlier.
Sidewinder's definitely stretching downfield, finding some longer gains per downfield attempt. Now they're on defense. Donahue trying to stop things. This is Pisani. Sent downfield. Harris trying to make a play.
What a
It's
catch.
caught. Terrific work by McQuaid. Stepanitis. Gonna send it into the end zone.
Wow.
And McQuaid is able to sprint towards that corner and outrun everyone.
And when the higher level teams, when they get the big gainer or the big yard gaining huck, if you'll notice, the rest of the team is kind of staying back a little bit. They're following the play, but they're really working 2-on-2, 3-on-3, and just playing kind of an extended mini. It's hard to guard.
And McQuaid was everywhere on that sequence.
Ah, yeah, let's see it. Just a big throw. Not quite there. She had to try to high point it. Yeah. And just, you have to guard both sides.
But Bay Area just too fast and too sharp.
Yeah, the fight is there. This is good frisbee. It's just that last little bit that the Sidewinders have to clean up.
Sidewinders facing a deficit of 7 points.
Looks like they'll get a good field here.
Great field position and 8.5 to go in the quarter. Plenty of time to play, but Sidewinders have to start piecing some things together. Aragon's going to send it right away. Here's Doyle. Doyle's got it!
She is tall.
Sidewinders answer right away and score in the manner to which they are accustomed.
Maybe they said, wait, who did we throw it deep to last season? Oh, Lindsay Doyle. Okay. Well, let's try that once. So we'll see if they kind of default back to their gunslinging ways now that it's been a little bit of success, or they get a little bit of footing and can find some offense after the turn.
Let's take another look at this catch by Doyle.
Aragon, just no hesitation. Full step back. I know who I'm throwing to. Ooh, just a little too tall. Sorry, Bay.
Sidewinders back on defense, looking to get some breaks here. Breaks have been few and far between for the Sidewinders in this matchup.
19, Madison Spiegel has been close on some of these run-throughs, and 20, Hannah actually got that one earlier in the game, so definitely a chance for some defense here.
Chen working with Fenig. And it's going to go to a wide. It's going to send to Maru, who's been on fire this game. Maru's almost got it.
Oh, great defense.
Just broken up.
And she had steps.
Great cover by Spiegel. Caroline O'Connell finding Hannah Heaton.
This is almost the same unit that worked it all the way downfield for that timeout that got stalled out first.
Sidewinder stuck on this sideline. That's O'Connell looking downfield. She's going to send it.
What?
She's got
rip.
Janet Wan. And it's broken up by
my.
Bay.
Was that Fenig?
Number 49, Robin Fenig.
Making her presence felt on both sides of the disc.
That would have been a huge sequence for the Sidewinders, but it's broken up by Bay. That's Chen finding a great inside angle. And now they're just going to send it back down the field to Maru.
Does Maru get it on
Can
the
Spiegel
second?
get it? Maru's got it.
Let's see if they drop.
Setting up now for their red zone set. And it's just going to be a big shot across the field on a high stall count, but it's reeled in.
Wow. Way to see the space right there. Everybody should feel proud about that point. Both sides, big offensive plays, big defensive plays. But again, another long point where at the end of the point, we're putting another tally in the guess column.
And how about Talia Ward just finding the open space? We'll take another look at how this looked.
Oh, yeah. I almost wondered the first huck in that direction for Bay if they thought that the wind was still going that way. Whereas that throw, you could tell they said, oh, no wind? I can kind of throw this up above everybody.
Yeah, you know, I think if we were to look at that play in a vacuum, we'd think the stall count must have been really high.
Yep.
But really, I think the look was there right away. Ward just incredibly resourceful and just making something happen there. Got way open.
Yeah.
And then the throw didn't have to be amazing in order for it to be a goal.
And we'll see if Maru kind of keeps getting those deep looks.
Yeah, she has been devastating in this game. It's 12-5, advantage Bay Area. Sidewinders back on offense. Donahue, who's been fantastic tonight. Here's Harris. Harris sending it to Dunn.
Looks like she's got that leg wrapped from earlier, but doesn't seem to be slowing her down now.
Powell trying to find something. She'll punt. More stifling defense from Bay Area.
The mark came all the way around, and we still couldn't, or sorry, they still couldn't find kind of an open in or out cut.
You know, we talked in the first half. Will Bay Area be able to continue the intensity on these marks? The answer is yes.
It looks like it. And that's just trust downfield.
That's Chang. She's sending it to Cardosa. Cardosa's got Davies. Bay Area now working it in and out of the red zone. We've got a stoppage of play on a pick.
In the WUL, it is a little bit closer than club frisbee. So sometimes these picks will get called back, but looks like the offender felt like the space was there.
That was a 27 Greenwood, who's now open on the around. Going to try to work it back towards the middle. Bay Area trying to provide that quick dump right away. That's Miri Chang, who's just going to flip it up and in. Right on the boundary of the end zone. Not quite in there, but it's going to hit the deck. After a ill-fated throw trying to squeeze it in.
When keeping it inside goes wrong.
Here's Powell, who sent it back across the field. That's Harris diving to keep possession. And now Dunn operating in the middle of the field. Thought for a second she might send it. Here's Chang. Chang will send it. There's Stetmeyer tracking it down, and she's got it.
7 seconds is not very long for somebody to come up and get that disc.
That's Pisani coming to get it for her. Here's Stetmeyer diving grab. Brittany Stetmeyer has got the Sidewinders that much closer to the Bay Area Falcons.
Big huck, big catch, big bid to cut the lead. Now they're only down by 6. And you know what? A play like that deserves a replay, I think. Simeone, let's get to it.
Let's see Stetmeyer go to work here.
There we go. The rest of the team just kind of hanging back. Let that 2v2 happen.
Yeah, great work by Pisani, I thought, to trail that, collect it, and then give a minute for Brittany Stetmeyer to make her move rather than trying to force things too much. It's almost like they got all they could out of that 7-second stall.
And as a defender, all you can do is drop. and when you drop back, you're playing 1v1, and there's 40 yards.
Yeah, and still great job by Stepmeyer to shake loose on the open side like that and to get so open and complete that catch. She's been great this matchup and has been really rock solid in the end zone, too.
All right, let's see how this D-leg comes out. They've got to be hungry. Bay looking for a chance to just prove we've got ice in our veins.
It's 6-12. If it's going to happen for Arizona, they've got to get some pressure going. Easy shot downfield for Bay. That's Fenig, who's able to find Ward. Ward's going to send it downfield. And is it?
What a catch.
It's a goal!
Sometimes you can lose it over the back of your shoulder.
It looked for a minute there like it wasn't going to happen. That number 22, Alexi Zalk, had maybe lost it, but she got her head around and was then able to make the grab. That's really good shot for Bay Area, who gets off the field in not very much time at all.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see if on the replay we can see the front of these jersey numbers. She gears up. She sees the space downfield. No wind, so the disc is just going to sit there. Wow. Excellent finish on that. This offense is going to be hard to stop.
Yeah, there's been so much good action at the beginning of the sequences that it's just pitch and catch downfield. And, you know, the big victory there is for Bay is that they were able to just get off the field and get back on defense.
And they still didn't bring some of the pieces from back home. So I'm super excited to see kind of week to week if this is the ceiling or if they can push even higher.
Arizona looking to answer. They're down 7. This is Chang. Chang swarmed by defenders. This is Goldstein to the rescue. She's going to send it downfield to Dunn. Dunn scanning. She's going to send it to Pisani. Pisani's got it with both hands in the air.
There we go. And the crowd goes wild.
Lauren Pisani.
If you're a coach, if the other team is scoring with a lead like this, you've got to feel pretty good that your team has at least started to score now. So the Sidewinders have to be happy. Even though the pace of the game has sped up, the points have sped up. We'll see if we can take another look. Mel Dunn doesn't fake the backhand this time. She throws it. San Francisco that time, I wonder if they were trying a different defense. It looked like big switches downfield.
It did look a little different than what they've seen. One thing, though, that we just saw in that replay was downfield cutters making those downfield throws, making some of those field-stretching explosive plays that we talked about around halftime about would the Sidewinders try to stretch the field a little bit more? And Lauren Pisani says absolutely.
Yeah, clearly looks like they are. They heard and delivered.
Aragon, great pull.
Wow.
Sidewinders are going to be able to run down on this. Han-Chen to Fenig.
Oh, so we've seen kind of what impact Fenig has had so far in the game, but did they pick up a closer too?
Chen playing a lot of handler this time around, but
She wanted to.
she was looking for the end zone, but she'll send it back to Chen. Chen, another inside-out shot to Maru. Ward centering the disc. More uncontested work underneath by Bay Area, and that's going to be a nice touch pass to number 44, Kara Hammer, for the Bay Area Falcons. They pick up another score, 14 Bay Area, Sidewinders 7. We've got 2 minutes and 56 seconds left in this quarter, the third.
Yeah, let's see kind of what happened there. Just excellent throw, good space. That's what you get with no wind. You get, hey, I'm going to run to this space. You're going to throw it to me. And Bay has the throwers. Let's see if Arizona can keep the intensity. What I'm noticing on some of these plays from Bay, now that they're playing some O-line, Han-Chen will eject a little bit. and Finnick ejected. Both of them took turns downfield, and both of them got big gainers. So I wonder if defenders are not quite used to the downfield defense on them.
I feel like we saw more of that in that last point, and Chen has had a pretty consistent pattern of catching the disc as a handler and then just breaking with that inside-out mark almost right away, and so often to Maru. This is Harris for the Sidewinders. Sidewinders trying to rally and get some more points on the board. Their offense has looked terrific in this quarter relative to how they finished out the half. And it's going to be a grab by Goldstein, both hands. Collecting that one. Pisani working with Powell. Backhand force for Bay Area. Chip Chang is able to have it on the sideline. Clock getting high. And it looks like a timeout called by the Arizona Sidewinders.
And good improvement there by the Sidewinders coach to get that timeout before the stall. Wait. Did I speak too soon?
Have a quick discussion about did the timeout actually happen before the timeout was called?
You know, do you say 3 if it's coming in on 3, or do you say 2?
Every timeout in Western Ultimate League resets the stall count to 1.
Hey, would you look at that?
Fun
They're going to get a
fact.
fresh 7. Player counted 7. Do they look for an inside? Maybe a 1v1 or kind of work it side to side? Most of the game, Sidewinders have been patient to work it side to side.
Yeah, they're not directly on the end zone line right now. But one thing that Bay Area has been so good out of timeouts is locking down the handlers.
Oh, absolutely.
And just making sure that there's nothing easy here. I do wonder if the Sidewinders are going to try for something downfield right away.
If you play back this game early in stalls and early in points, Bay's marks are all over. They're all over the place. They're active with their feet. They're not over-committing. They're jumping right where Arizona wants to throw. So look to the mark right here and see if the cutter kind of takes 2 steps off, if they take 20% off of their cut, because they see that the mark is so active and they don't think the thrower is going to throw it.
Here's Cardosa. And she's lined up
A little bit of poach off the back.
on Harris for Arizona, who's able to get it off the sideline. Stetmeyer now surveying the field, looking for Chang, but no need because Goldstein steps in.
Ooh, a little bit of roller spike here. Michael, let's see how far it goes. Wow. Could be the longest spike of the season so far.
It's going all the way to Superior, Arizona, but Alex Goldstein, great timing, delivers a goal for her team. The deficit is now 6. 2 minutes to go in this third quarter.
Let's see what happens when that's Sunny's second break of the game, just on that sideline, that she gets it off the side. Little unconventional stoppage. It always pays to follow the play. Alex Goldstein had been quiet this game so far. Last week, she had a couple of key bids to keep points alive. So I wonder if she's starting to feel more comfortable too.
And how about Stetmeyer? You know, Chang, you could see, was following that throw, thinking that maybe that was meant for her and it was perhaps an overthrow. But Stetmeyer saw Goldstein just making a great cut
Absolutely.
into wide open space. Sidewinders on defense. That's Eifert. Sidewinders looking to apply the pressure now.
Mostly good pulls from both teams.
Chen to Fenig. This combination has been great for them tonight.
She can throw it.
That's Carnahan. Looking downfield's able to flip it to Maru. Upline offer, Fenig. Back in possession. Back to the middle of the field, that's Chen. Chen now sending it back across to Maru. Maru just trying to find some way to break the mark.
Maru is grinding this point.
Great stop by the Sidewinders.
And they are moving with pace. Unfortunately, it looks like the Sidewinders are downfield a little bit too deep to take advantage of it, though.
That's Jameson. We're going to flip it across the field to Wan. Wan's going to send it. And it's a goal for the Sidewinders. It's a break. Eifert able to get that one.
That's what. Oh. And they hit him with the freeze frame Selly. Hey, it doesn't matter if you're down by 1 point or 10 points. The energy is all that matters. We're building a successful season here. That's what the players are saying. And they're trying to build on this energy.
And terrific work by Shelby Petty in that combination, too.
Shelby with the first break, and then Janet with the second around. It's the second time we've seen willingness to break the mark because Sanford Bay is relying on their marks to discourage these throws. So if the first one comes off, that second one's going to be easier. Let's see how they respond, if they stop the bleeding or if Arizona can find a little bit of momentum here. If anybody can put this in the back of the end zone, it's Aragon.
Shelby Petty, who just signed today for the Arizona Sidewinders. Familiar number 8 from previous seasons. Great job by her on that point. Sidewinders back on defense.
See if Arizona can stop this first kind of sweeping cut.
Doyle trying to get down on that one. Win. Back to Fenig. Bay Area just eating up the yards on the open side. Now content to swing it back and forth to the field. They're working left to right incredibly well. Sidewinders still haven't really found their footing on defense to get in their way at all. Here's a hammer, and it's going to be caught by Chen.
Great catch. She's been working so hard all game. Finally comes up with one where she's got to put her body on the line. Oh, and all smiles. Both teams having a great time. This is Bay's first game. I think they're pretty happy with the results so far, but still with room to improvement. And what do you think from last week to this week, Arizona doing what they need? Oh, let's see this replay. Wow, impact player to impact player. Teams willing to throw it over the top, they're going to go farther in the season and postseason.
And just like you said, Chen ejecting out of that handler space to try to cause some chaos downfield for the Sidewinders defense. We have 19 seconds to go.
Here's one of the toughest things to do in Frisbee. Your D-line, your defense is fired up. Now, the other team held. Let's see if Arizona's O-line can keep the intensity, can keep the energy.
Sidewinders on offense. Here's Harris. Harris to Pisani. Pisani has been the author of some electric plays tonight. This is Harris. Time has expired. This is the last possession of the quarter. It's sent to Stetmeyer. Can she get it? Reaching behind her. Not quite. That'll be our third quarter. Bay Area 15, Sidewinders 9.
I am not a financial advisor here, Michael. I barely know what stats are. I can't do math. I just teach it. But I'm pretty sure that gets added to the category of had possession with time running out and did not score.
Yeah, another mark for the Sidewinders on a play I think that they want to have back. Open space. Bay Area was able to get two defenders onto Stetmeyer. She would have had to make an amazing trailing aerial catch to bring that one in.
Wonder what each team is saying here. If I'm in those huddles and I'm a player who's been playing a lot this game, I know exactly what I need to do. If I'm the Sidewinders, I need to throw and catch. I need to keep the intensity up. If I'm San Francisco or if I'm the Bay, if you'll notice, when they get those first rounds and second rounds, their posture and the cutters, they're ready for that skinny inside or the throw. It's such a fast throw. It's hard to defend. So we'll see if the Sidewinders can take it.
Well, we'll see if the Sidewinders have a late surge left in them for the fourth quarter. We'll take a break.
Sorry.
And we're back for the fourth quarter. The culmination of the first home game for the Arizona Sidewinders hosting the Bay Area Falcons, who enjoy a 15-9 lead tonight with just one quarter to go. Mark, what have you seen out of the Sidewinders in this second half where fans here in the stadium who are getting loud, what are they hopeful about?
I'm going to be honest with you. They are seeing points on the board. They're seeing catches in the end zone. It doesn't matter how you got there. Nobody's going to remember that part. They're remembering their home team scoring points. Now, let's see if the Bay can kind of stymie that energy that they're getting from the crowd, or if Arizona can continue it.
Here's Eifert with the pull. Arizona with 5 points in that last quarter. That's more than their production for the entire first half. This is Spiegel trying to get to coverage. Maru's going to send it deep. And it's picked up.
There's that step-for-step defense. Ooh, you need the real ID in October of next year, but it looks like Madison was doing some traveling and they capitalize.
Back to Eifert. Spiegel's going to come back to the deep space. She's really trying to apply pressure to Schumacher.
I wonder if they use one of their timeouts here.
Diving grab for the Sidewinders. All kinds of collisions. It looks like that's Hannah Heaton who's hit the turf.
It is not 2003 Florida anymore. We do not have to stop the count.
That's Eifert. Looking to collect things to relieve pressure, but it looks like we have a call on the field. Looks like a timeout for the Arizona Sidewinders.
Yeah, good sequences of events right there. And that, if you're another team looking to prepare for the Falcons, that's the blueprint right there. You have to be able to contest deep. You have to be able to stay step for step, or their throws are just too quick. Now let's see. Oh, go ahead.
Well, it's an interesting call by the Sidewinders coaches as well. Heaton just taking a shot there as she makes the catch. Pressure seemed like it was mounting. Possessions are too important to look past right now with just 11 minutes to go.
One thing that I did not hyper-focus while preparing for this game for was last season, Sidewinders typically converted after they called the timeout. They were pretty successful with that. That shows a lot of trust from every player on the team.
Let's see what formation they come out in.
It looks like they're staying with that D-line.
Horizontal stack. This is the same shape that we saw out of the last timeout in a relatively similar position.
It ended up with a kind of a dicey middling gain break throw.
Handler pressure led to a favorable outcome for Bay. And it looks like terrific handler pressure again, although Eifert's able to slip past with the upline shot and a goal for Emma Erickson.
What a bid.
That is a break for the Arizona Sidewinders.
There's that energy. Once they get rolling, they're an energetic team.
Spiegel was able to make the stop down on one end of the field and then gritty play.
Yeah, let's see Helen Eifert dial it in. Last week, not quite successful, so here's that big adjustment. You can't get mad at a dinger. That was right where the defense couldn't get to it.
That's right. Perfect placement. Erickson hitting the deck there to assure the catch, but placement was so good.
She's one of the new travel players for this season and already just fitting right in.
Sidewinders showing a spark here. The deficit is 5. There's 10 minutes and 55 seconds to go in this game.
Yeah, we'll have a golden time, just like a golden birthday here in a second. 10 to 15 at 10:15, everybody. We want to see screenshots in the comments.
Here's pressure.
A little miscommunication in the backfield.
Look at how fast Jamison and Sierra Ross, number 99, are able to get down on the field to get some pressure. They're able to gum up the first play. Ross working hard on this mark on Chen. Chen able to get her throw off. Looking very elusive, the Bay Area, and here it goes. An away shot, and it's hauled in. That looks like 42, Jackie Wynn. Good read, Mark.
That was an extra gear. I don't know if you noticed, but the offensive points from Bay up until this point, they have been here before. They're competitors. They felt a little bit of pressure from Arizona, and the throws are crisp. The cuts are crisp, and everybody's running at full speed. Even with help defense, she snags it over 2. Just look how quick these throws are. 5 yards of space from everybody, and she's willing to let it rip. Wow.
Mark on Chen. That Chen's best throw was all the way across the field on a very, very wide angle to the open side.
Yeah. That's just putting the pieces together on defense. You need team defense to kind of compete with this Bay team.
This also speaks to the Bay's philosophy, which is just, there's a lot of pressure, go away from it. Find where there's no pressure. Here's Goldstein.
Yes.
Goldstein to Dunn. Dunn able to send it back around. That's Harris.
Looks like Sonny hates open throws.
This is Powell.
A little bit of call downfield.
Harris has been great at controlling the backfield this game. She's new to the roster this year.
Willing to throw around these tough marks.
Harris looking for Chang.
That's her second kick block of the game, I think.
Yeah, Stepanitis, who's able to just break that up. Forgive me, Cardosa is able to break that up. As I read 1-7, or 7-1 erroneously. That's Miri Chang.
We're people too.
Bay Area working so well, zipping it downfield to Yang.
Wow.
Is it too much? Just out of the hands of Yang Hu. Nikki Yang made such a good attempt on that.
What a great bid. Everything to be proud of there. Well, where have we seen this before? Walking it up this corner.
Chip Chang for the Sidewinders. Donahue offers wide. It's going to go back to Powell. Relentless Bay Area mark, and it's got to be a high blade, but it's got Goldstein. And Goldstein's working with Donahue. Donahue dives to grab it. Back to Stepmeyer. Stepmeyer's got Goldstein in the end zone. Close to it. It's Goldstein.
She's not in.
Goldstein knocking on the door after a terrific diving catch. Dunn trying to help out. Dunn's got it.
Wow.
Arizona Sidewinders respond to being pinned in the corner on one side of the field. And before you know it, a goal for Mel Dunn.
You are witnessing electric sports. Let's see it again. Gearing up, sets her feet, puts it out to space. No wind means I can just put it in front. I can let my player, my teammate go get it. Great follow again. Does that count as red zone efficiency?
I think it does.
Hey, we'll give it to him.
From Donahue being able to save, from Goldstein just kind of being open wide, and then Donahue with the diving save.
And I don't think she's legally allowed to lay out. Don't let her husband see it. All right,
Fantastic play by Sidewinders. They're down by 5. There's still plenty of time to go in this game. 8 minutes and 47 seconds.
Yeah, we could have an entire second half of a men's basketball game or women's basketball game. There's so much time left.
Crowd on their feet. Fenig to Chen, who's checked by Jameson.
Pretty active mark.
Able to find something around. That's Carnahan, who's going to zip it right back to the middle of the field to Moreau, who's checked by Eifert. It's going to be a high throw. It's still caught, though. Bay Area showing some control, trying to get it back and forth. That's Maru open again. And now she's going to deliver to Carnahan as Bay Area walks off the field with another goal.
If you are a college team and you're working on throws, maybe you're senior heavy, junior heavy, watch this team play. Maybe stall 0, no more than stall 1. Each time they are in position to receive these quick throws. Let's see this again. Back towards the middle. They look upfield a little bit, and we're looking vertical, everybody. That momentum never stops. Moreau, each season, a team will find a player who just is the workhorse, is the machine, is the grease that keeps the wheels going. It was big for Arizona for a couple of those years, Carly Garrett, and it looks like it's Moreau. Did I say that right?
Media Guide says Maru.
Maru.
Apologies to all if we've been messing that up. Maru is still having a terrific evening.
Just, yes.
Here's Powell. This is Harris. Pisani. And it's going to be a diving stop by Bay.
We have a little bit of a call.
That looks like McKinley McQuaid made a terrific diving block, but
it did look like she had to come over the top. So one observer might just see her coming over the top and call it a foul. Yeah.
Donahue thinks there's contact. Observer concurs.
So because he can only see her coming over the top.
Great work still by Bay Area defense. And it's just out of the hands of Goldstein.
Put the lie detector test away.
Pisani trying to apply pressure. Terrific driving grab. 27, Morgan Greenwood. This is Way able to send it back across the field,
now
working with Davies.
Look for some vertical momentum right here.
Bay Area working inside out very nicely. Now a wide open person in the end zone, trailing grab. Called not in. Called in. That's Beth Davies finding a really interesting angle of attack on that end zone corner.
Yeah. Fun fact about Beth Davies, there is a second S on that name. It's just pronounced Davies. We got that one right.
Well, it's pronounced another goal for Bay Area as the score is 18-11. Let's take another look.
Once they get moving, they are hard to stop. They see the spaces. They're willing to throw to players who are in motion. If you throw that fast, you're going to hit your teammate in stride.
I really appreciate how that upline cut came by just never taking her eyes off the handler. She knew she was sneaking in there, and so just was able to face up the disc the whole time. And what could have been, a very, very difficult situation about that disc being delivered a little behind, she was able to field it no problem. Just attacking the defenders where they weren't looking. Another goal by using their brains just as much as their legs for the Bay Area Falcons.
If I'm on the sideline at a rec league game and that motion's happening, or coaching a college team, I am cringing. But they are professionals. They hit that stuff with stride, with pride.
Arizona Sidewinders looking to answer. They're behind by 7. There's 7 minutes to go. They're facing a careful and disciplined and smart team.
Ooh, you never want to see a curl around from the break to the open side.
But we do want to see Caroline O'Connell in that position, moving upfield. And with a free look, she's able to get it to Chang. Chang diving catch to save that. O'Connell back in control here. She's going to send it downfield to Erickson. Erickson's going to feed it into the end zone to Dunn.
No turnover from the sideline this time. Dunn toes the line. And even though that was a successful catch and a successful motion, we'll take it back just 2 seconds. Can we go a little bit further back to when Caroline didn't throw it? If not, that's totally fine. But that's, I think, where you were talking about. There we go. She's willing to throw that downfield, whereas just a couple minutes before, or a couple throws before, she kind of holstered it. So I think you're absolutely spot on earlier in the game when you said Arizona needs to be pushing the pace downfield.
Yeah, and now it's back on defense for the Sidewinders, trying to see if they can try to mitigate what has been just a really, really fun performance to watch from Bay Area, about working it in and out on the field, about staying ahead of the defense, making these really smart cuts. Yes, there's athletes, and they've shown that, but there's just so much smarts in this game plan. It's been great to watch. Sidewinders, though, if they're going to see success here, they're going to have to slow down Fenig, and Chen.
And this D-line, this group has been successful so far this game, so we'll see if they get at least a turn during this point.
Sidewinders. Here's 99 Ross trying to get pressure on right away. That's Eifert.
See if they stop the around here.
That's Cynthia Thomas for the Sidewinders, trying to stop this around. The clock is high. They've got to send it, but it's available.
So it doesn't matter either way. Let's see if it comes back. Can the observer count to 7? No stall. It's a turn down there.
For a minute there, it looked like it was going to hang just long enough for Bay to make a play on it.
Yeah, and they've come up with those.
That's Jameson to Chambliss. Thomas now looking for something downfield. It looks like it's errant, though, and Chen is able to collect it and move the attack right away. Bay Area working down on the outside seam. Sidewinders trying to keep them on this line, but a lot of upline. Right up over across the middle now, and Maru's just going to skip it to open space. Sidewinders in trouble. Wide open. Bay Area. Another goal for Chen.
Absolutely. The Bay have proved that they can score at upline. They can score on a fast break, and they're willing to score on multiple arounds. Really working leverage on that horizontal momentum. The defense comes over and caps it is what we're going to see right here. Once she's already got it, the defense has over-adjusted. They don't want to get beat. A little shimmy to the inside, and now you've got anything that you want. If your defender, or if your teammate downfield's open, you're getting that disc to him.
Yeah, and that was a forced flick for the Sidewinders, and just great high release break throw in those conditions.
If I'm coaching the defense from this week to their next game, I'm pretty happy. You're getting turns. Oh, looks like we've got some Kona ice on the track. You can't
Sidewinders back at it again. They're down 7. Looking for some more offense. That's Powell to Pisani. Big gain for Pisani. Stetmeyer.
Wow, what a bid.
Donahue looking to Chang. Chang runs it down. She's got it. Sidewinders score. 13-9, 4:58 to go. Sidewinders trail by 6. It feels like that 6-point deficit has just been haunting the team since halfway through the second quarter.
It's that second quarter. Had they scored literally any amount of points. However, it's looking good for both teams. Everybody has something to be happy about. Let's see this absolute dime. Takes a little bit long. People are kind of far away. She looks downfield. She sees steps. She throws to steps. Nothing to be done about it. Hey, you can't teach tall? Can you teach positioning? I'm just kidding. San Francisco has been playing excellent. Just an awesome throw.
Yeah, Chang released right at the right moment to tee that up, and then Donahue delivers it right on the money. Terrific throw by her. And now Arizona starts pushing some chips in the middle of the table to try to get a stop here. Well, Aragon with the pull.
We've proved that we can get stops, Michael. It's can they score?
Can they score after the stop?
Ooh, a little nutmeg on the pull.
This is when putting pressure on Fenig. That's Jameson trying to mix it up. Maru open again. Bay Area making quick work of this defense. Fennick's going to send it deep.
Thomas.
That is Jackie Wynn. She's got it. Jacqueline Wynn. Great breakaway speed.
What a rip. And one of the first backhands, I think, that we've seen to that side. Most of the game they've been kind of IO or flat flicks, but just an awesome throw, awesome cut. And earlier we were talking about Cynthia Thomas. She took a couple spills early in the game, and that time was a couple steps behind. Couldn't go up for the 50-50. Here's the replay. Yeah, just couldn't make up the ground.
Not easy to outrun Cynthia Thomas. And we saw Fenig warming up her backhand as we were getting ready for this evening. And it looked dangerous. And that has proven out.
Absolutely. Let's see if Arizona can answer.
20-13 concluding minutes of this last quarter. 4:30 to go. Here's Powell to Harris. That's Stetmeyer, who's going to blast it. And it's not quite perfect, but it's perfect for Emma Erickson, who is happy to take another shot at that one and come down with the goal.
You love to see travel player to travel player connection, Michael. They're not with the team Monday through Friday, so they are with each other in spirit. Throw to throw, throw to catch. Let's see it again. Just no mark. Steps. Bay does catch up. Who was that on the defense? Oh, couldn't quite make it out, but to get a hand in there and still have the poise to catch it on the deflection, excellent concentration.
Yeah, Erickson, that's not the only high concentration throw we've seen Erickson pull off. Outstanding work.
Yeah, definitely has taken a little bit bigger of a role, has seemed more comfortable from last week to this week. Now let's see if they can get the stop. Both teams are kind of feeling in rhythm right now. Do you think Arizona throws anything different, or if they just kind of keep with the matchup?
It looks like they have been able to stretch the defense of Bay Area. Won't be surprised to see them try that if they're able to get a stop here. Here's Fenig.
Oh, same opening play.
Right across the field, Karahammer. And now here's Fenig in power position. That's Chen, who's able to service the middle of the field to Schumacher. Schumacher around, looking like a nice, easy possession for the Bay Area Falcons. Who else but Amanda Maru?
If you're rewatching this later, you're kicking yourself for not getting down on that pole. It's not just the people guarding the person who picks up the disc. It's that first cut or second cut. And 44, is that?
Oh, 44 is Karahammer.
Was that who caught it to start the play? I think.
Yes,
and
Hammer
then to Maru.
Yep.
We're looking just. Oh yeah, we'll see right here. And then just easy offense. Dang, Maru is so good at keeping the spacing while still being aware of where the disc is.
Another clinic on offense for the Bay Area Falcons. 21-14, 3:47 to go. Arizona receiving. Somewhat short pulse, skips to the turf. Powell's got it. She's going to send her to Harris. Harris looking. She's got Donahue. Donahue's going to send it downfield. It's going to be a little too long
Little
for
miscommunication.
Stetmeyer and Pisani.
Wonder what happened with that one.
Wide open space behind both of them.
Yeah, just a little sharp. Or it does look like, hey, nobody else calls this wind, but there might have been some.
Here's Donahue working on Davies. Bay Area now advancing. Can the Sidewinders keep them pinned on this side of the field?
Ooh, great catch.
Bay Area are able to save it for now. And a diving catch. Is it made?
Michael, I am getting flashbacks of first and second quarter here.
Is that... Eliza Cheng looked like she might have come up with it, but there's some discussion about whether or not that hit the turf first.
Yeah. Do we see it? We're checking. Oh, and it looks like the college team is out in full force. They don't care if they can see it. They just know that something happened, and they're excited about it.
Nothing quite like it. It looks like Bay Area will maintain possession. They're calling that a catch.
Okay. I am
Chang
too.
a little shaken up on the play. And it looks like Davies is able to send it back across. Bay Area going to swing it again. That's McQuaid. McQuaid working a combination with Davies. Davies now going to send it back to the middle of the field.
Excellent inside throw.
Yeah, that's Nikki Yang, who's now going to be open up field, but it doesn't matter. Cardosa's got it. She's going to send it deep.
Just help over the top.
That's McQuaid. And that near corner of the end zone for another Bay Area score. Bay Area 22, Arizona 14. We've got 2 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the game.
Both of these teams, excellent so far this game at throwing these longer throws, these hucks, if you will, to where the defense can't. Both teams are helping over the top. They just can't get there in time. And another excellent throw. Let's see, Davies. Not afraid. And inbounds squarely.
Yeah, Cardosa got rid of that so fast, there's no way the defense had enough time to find McQuaid downfield and make the adjustment.
Yeah. Now we'll see later tonight or tomorrow if that was up or down, but with a deficit of this much, we're just excited for good frisbee. We can worry about the call later.
Indeed. Sidewinders on offense again. Look to see them attempt to score quickly. With around 2 minutes to go, the pressure's on.
Does Caroline throw this?
That's O'Connell in a jam, but Aragon swooping in to reset the clock. Aragon's going to send it across the field, and it's brought down by Doyle. Doyle's just going to send it up in the air.
Madison.
Amazing catch by Madison Spiegel. She just found the space and figured the rest out later.
She said, nobody's around you, but you're still going to be skying everyone. Let me just throw it up a little bit. Wow, Sidewinders picked it up. That's what I was talking about earlier in the game. When you see players looking downfield for longer than a second, and she just rips it. She looks downfield, not there, but luckily Z comes down with it, and Madison picks up right after.
Yeah, how about Doyle just sticking that catch in traffic? Wow. That one had some pace on it.
That's a player who you've probably played some mix and caught it in between everybody. Played some women's and caught it between everybody. For the past however long in your career, you are catching discs in traffic, just stuck to the hands.
Yeah, Doyle, veteran player who has seen everything. Here come the Sidewinders on defense. If they want to stop to turn it into something, they've got to make it happen pretty quick. We've got quick pressure on the handles.
Ooh.
Bay Area comes down with it, and they're going to be working back towards the middle of the field. This is Fenig. You can sense the urgency from the Sidewinders trying to get a block. But that outside-inside combination for Bay has been very productive in finding that inside space. And there's Maru. We've got a stoppage.
Feels like a timeout. However, let's look and see if it is a timeout. In fact, after knowing what it was, I was correct, Michael. It was a timeout.
Let's keep coming back to how Bay Area is able to get it on the sideline, and then that actually changes the angle of attack for their in-cutters. They don't wait to send the disc to the middle of the field before they throw downfield from the sideline anymore, and that gives their downfield cutters a new angle of attack, and Arizona's defense has just not caught up when that adjustment happens.
And even though the disc is changing positions kind of where it is on the field, since the people with the disc are throwing it at stall 0, stall 1, they're willing to throw it, and they throw it with pace. The cutters that you were alluding to, when they attack that new space and that new angle, they're not making long cuts. There's not enough time for the defense to make up ground. The disc is already in their hands. So I think absolutely perfect assessment. If you're watching this, if you're watching this game and you're a team about to play them, or you're a team that's trying to get better, maybe it rained during your practice, to watch this film, don't just watch the person throwing it. Once you see a catch, rewind it a little bit and watch and see how that space got attacked or how that space got cut into from that downfield player. This is just an absolute clinic on both sides of the disc from Bay.
Here's Finnig. We've got 1:14 to go in this game. Finnig sending up a tough one. Chen's got it.
Ooh.
Looks like there's a stall called on the field.
I think we've been 1 for 1 for stalls, I think. Some have been, some have not been. This looked like it is not. Okay.
Jameson on the cover. looked like she had every angle covered except up over the top like that. A great swing pass to Finnick. She's going to distribute it out to the sideline. That's Carnahan, and just as before, that sideline look creates some open space. That open space is going to create some end zone action, and Carnahan's got it. She's got a goal.
Carnahan, when she takes over on points, is in the right spot every single time. And look, they're happy. Everybody's happy. Everybody's touching the disc.
First game of the season, and they look like it's their 5th or 6th game in the season.
Yeah, they saw the results of the semifinal and the 3rd place game, losing some close games near, in the time where Arizona was making their run during this game. They just were too far away to kind of make it matter, right? And they have to be happy with they're right where they left off. Let's see this replay. Just the one shimmy into the throw. They're ready to throw.
Yeah, and that sideline to center combination, not quite in the center of the field, but that cutter coming back into space.
It's hard to guard.
Worked very well for them. We've got under a minute to go.
Okay. If I'm a stubborn coach, I'm saying you're holding on to this disc for 51 seconds and you're scoring. We're going to score for the first time this year when we get the disc.
That's Harris to Powell. Chang able to elude the defense, and she's just going to send it deep to Pisani. Pisani tracking. She could have it. She does.
There we go.
Lauren Pisani with another great catch.
We've done it, Michael. They have scored with under a minute left. They're going to leave tonight proud. This actually was a good mark, too.
Yeah, great mark. And let's take a look at this.
Oh, seems to be the point before. Bear with us a moment.
I mean, that was a nice play. Pisani knew where it was going to go the whole time as soon as that disc went up.
And no help over the top. One of the few times this game. Chip Chang just says, "Why don't I throw it deep?" Wow. Oh, there was help. Just not quite there.
Yeah, Wong had pretty good position. I don't think she saw the throw go off.
No.
And might not have had the same kind of read on it that Pisani had. Pisani making it look easy. And
the crowd's
here
asking
comes
for a dropped pull, Michael.
Perhaps the final possession or the final point of the game with under 30 seconds to go. Sidewinders applying pressure. This is Fenig.
If you see some throws back and forth in the backfield without them actually gaining yards, they are holding onto the disc. They're playing for point diff.
But there is a turnover, and there's a new plan, and that new plan is LP Aragon throwing to Heaton, and she's got it! The Sidewinders score in the closing seconds of this one.
Let's check the observers. Let's see. It's zeros on the scoreboard. It's zeros on our cast. And it looks like, yes, the observers want to go home. They've got a flight to catch.
Hannah Heaton. Terrific work there right at the edge of the end zone. Take another look.
The pickup, the vision, the step. Way to keep that in bounds. Even with a little bit of wind. Michael, I think both teams leave tonight extremely happy with the way they've performed. Things to improve on, of course, but definitely a high ceiling for the season ahead.
Yeah, Arizona kind of haunted by that second quarter, but explosive production on offense in the second half of this game. Bay Area walking away with a great win, and they look sharp as ever.
Hello.
Arizona with a few things to figure out.
All right. Well, Michael, thank you for an electric game in March. Now let's just catch up with some madness later tonight. After we hit up, I think the Sidewinders are hosting the traveling players. It's all about community. It's all about camaraderie, and can't wait to see them for the next game here in 2 weeks, I think.
That's right. 2 weeks. They are back here again as the home team. Thank you for joining us for this great matchup of the Western Ultimate League, the Sidewinders home opener for 2025 season.
Brought to you by Discraft, because they've got to play the game. Oh, and it looks like it's the hammer over the top. You love it when a play comes together.
You know, there have been so many good plays in this one. I'm fine with a hammer taking the prize. But in my opinion, there have been some incredible plays that have been pulled off, and some of these end zone spaces that have just been explosive and exciting. Really, for fans watching, like, there's been a really good performance to take in on this one.
Here comes the love. Some say the best merch in the league, best fans currently in Arizona, and definitely the best game that I watched tonight. So can't wait to see more of it. Yeah, and it does look like we're going to try to find somebody. So bear with us, everybody. We'll go down. I think Caitlin Doust has found somebody to have an interview with. We'll be right back with that.
Here.
All right. Am I okay? Uh-oh. Maybe, I don't know. It took me, I had a whole mess of people that I had to get on. I think it's a hot mic right now, which is, yeah, we're looking for sound bites. We're going to try to get the WUL. It's all good. We're trying to. All right. Well, Finnig, there was hype in your kind of not return, but entrance into the WUL, and you proved everyone, if you even had any doubters, but everybody absolutely right in your impact. Both sides of the field, early on, late in the game. How do you think you did?
I think it's easy to be successful when your teammates are wide open. I think that Amanda Maru and Hammer both did a lot of work initiating our offense. Kobe, Jacqueline Wynn also very open all the time, so it's really easy to get a lot of positive throwing yards when your teammates are open. So
it felt like almost every throw was stall 0, stall 1, stall 2. What are you looking forward to kind of to build on from this game to the rest of the season?
I think we really have a lot of work to do, I think, in our transition from our regular big field end zone or big field sets to getting into our end zone. One of our big goals was to get into our end zone sets pretty early tonight, so we were really trying to push that and get a lot of people involved. So we've got a lot of really good film. We've got a lot of work to do in the next week. We have 6 days until our next game. I think the thing about the WUL is there's no rest, right? It's every day you're grinding, you're resting with that eyes on the prize in a few days. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, thank you so much for one of the better offensive and defensive performance that we've seen from a team and a player, and can't wait to see the rest of the season.
Thank you. I also want to say Arizona, man, it was really fun to get to come and play here. I mean, obviously the weather was great, crowd was great, but they kept changing up looks. Really adaptable team, so I'm excited to see what they're going to look like.
Yeah, I should know if you two both teams play again. Are they one of the teams that you play twice?
I think we play both Oregon and Seattle twice.
I see. So just the once, but can't wait to see the rest of the season.
Thanks.
All right, back to you.
Thanks, Mark, and thanks for that post-game interview. Pretty interesting to see just how Bay Area kind of looks at the field and how they look and kind of rate their own success and accomplishments. Looking forward to seeing how both teams perform in the coming weeks of the season. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Michael Simeone, signing off for Mark Borger. Thanks to our crew and our volunteers. Thank you for tuning in to the Western Ultimate League. We'll see you next time. Good night.